The harsh glow of my laptop cast shadows across my cramped dining table as I squint at another spreadsheet. 14 hours at the office wasn't enough to finish the Henderson portfolio. So here I am, midnight approaching, still working while the rest of Boston sleeps. I massage my temples, trying to focus on the numbers that have begun to blur together. My apartment is quiet except for the occasional hum of the old refrigerator. It's modstone bedroom when I could afford to, aging appliances when I could manage newer, but these sacrifices have a purpose. Family comes first. Always has. My phone vibrates against the table, Madison's name lighting up the screen. Despite the exhaustion weighing on my shoulders, a smile tugs at my lips. My little sister, probably calling about weekend plans or needing advice on her graduate school project. Hello? I answer, my voice warm despite my fatigue. Instead of Madison's voice, I hear the unmistakable sound of glasses clinking, laughter bubbling, music playing in the background. A party. My grip on the phone tightens. Hello, Madison? I try again, louder this time. The noise continues, no response. Must be a pocket dial. I'm about to hang up when I hear my name cut through the background chatter. Can you believe Daphne still thinks she's helping us? Madison's voice, clear and cutting. I freeze, the words hanging in the air between us, though she doesn't know I'm listening. She's basically an ATM with a pulse. My mother's laughter follows, unmistakable and cruel. The sound pierces me like a physical blow, stealing my breath. She owes us for not having kids or a husband. Caleb's voice joins in, slurring slightly. What else is she going to spend money on? I sink into my chair, unable to move, unable to end the call. The calculator app on my screen blurs as tears threaten. Let's tell her rent went up by $250. Madison again, her tone calculating. Nothing like the grateful sister who hugged me last week when I covered her textbook costs. Get her to cover utilities and my spa days too. Mom's voice now, greedy and confident. Mom, who I've been paying $1,450 in rent for every month, who told me last week about her medical expenses that I covered without question. The worst part comes last, spoken by Madison with such casual cruelty it makes my stomach turn. It's so easy to guilt her, she always folds. My hand trembles as I grip the phone. I can't seem to hang up, can't stop listening to this nightmare unfolding in real time. Tears slide silently down my cheeks, landing on the spreadsheet where I've been calculating how many more months until I can finally start my emergency fund again. The memories flood in unbidden. The vacation to Maine I canceled 3 years ago when Caleb had his emergency tuition shortfall. The dental work I postponed twice when Madison's car needed repairs that somehow cost exactly what I'd saved for my root canal. The second job I took last year, bartending weekends when Mom claimed she needed help with medical bills I never saw documentation for. But trusted were real Boswell, because she's my mother. 5 years of sacrifices parade through my mind in merciless detail. 5 years of family emergencies that somehow aligned perfectly with my bonus schedule. 5 years of their grateful faces, now revealed as masks hiding contempt. I finally pressed the end call button, setting the phone down with unnatural care, as if it might shatter like my trust just did. The apartment feels colder suddenly, the silence heavier. I wipe the tears from my face with the back of my hand. My posture straightens almost of its own accord. Something shifts inside me past the hurt, past the betrayal. A calm clarity emerges. I've spent years analyzing financial data, finding patterns others miss. How did I miss this? I pick up my phone again, my fingers steady now as I type. Hey, I think my phone glitched weird signal just now. Everything okay? The response comes quickly. All good, just having dinner with Mom and Caleb. Talk tomorrow? No mention of a party. Another lie, so effortless it's chilling. I close my laptop, pushing aside the Henderson portfolio. It can wait until morning. Instead, I open a new spreadsheet, naming it something I should have created years ago. Exit strategy. The title stares back at me, both terrifying and liberating. For the first time in 5 years, I'm not thinking about how to help my family. I'm thinking about how to help myself. and they'll never see it coming. Bank statements cover my dining table like fallen leaves, each one a record of my generosity or my gullibility. I've spent the past 3 hours meticulously cataloging every transaction, every dollar siphoned from my accounts over 5 years. The numbers stare back at me, cold and damning. $87,000, just in rent payments. My stomach twists as I trace a finger over the highlighted figures. That's not counting emergencies, the temporary loans, the birthday gifts, and holiday presents. The money I could have used for a down payment on my own home, a retirement fund, the dental work I keep postponing. How did I miss this? I whisper to my empty apartment. The radiator hisses in response, the only sound besides my ragged breathing. My laptop glows in the dim light as I type Madison's name into Facebook's search bar. I haven't checked her social media in months, too busy working, too busy supporting them. 3 scrolls down and my breath catches. There she is, cocktail in hand, lounging by a resort pool I've never seen. Weekend getaway, blessed? The caption reads, dated 2 weeks after she called in tears about her impossible utility bill that I immediately paid. I click through to Mom's profile next. Linda Morgan, whose medical appointments have drained my emergency fund twice this year. Linda Morgan, who now smiles back at me from the chair of an upscale salon, her fresh highlights costing more than I spend on haircuts in a year. Had to treat myself. New look, new chapter. The post is dated 3 days after I transferred $600 for what she called critical medical tests. My hands shake as I search for Caleb, my little brother, supposedly buried in textbooks and struggling to make tuition payments. The evidence hits like a physical blow. Caleb in Las Vegas, arm around a girl I've never seen, captioned, study break. During the weekend, he told me he couldn't call because he was locked in the library, cramming for finals. I closed my laptop, unable to look anymore. The betrayal is too raw, too complete. Memory after memory resurfaces, now cast in the harsh light of truth. Last Christmas, dropping off carefully selected gifts at their door, Mom claiming she was too tired for me to come inside. The birthday dinner I arranged for Linda at her favorite restaurant, where they left an hour early for a headache that didn't stop them from posting bar photos later that night. The promotion celebration no one attended because of car trouble. The pattern is so clear now, texts appearing only when bills were due, calls that never asked how I was doing, only what I could give. My phone buzzes on the table. Mom's name appears on the screen, and for the first time, I feel nothing but a cold clarity. Daphne, honey, it's been ages. We're having a little family dinner on Sunday. Can you make it? My voice doesn't betray me as I accept the invitation, already calculating my next move. I'd love to. Should I bring anything? Just yourself, she says warmly, the same warmth I once mistook for love instead of opportunity. After ending the call, I stand before my bathroom mirror, practicing normal smiles, rehearsing casual responses. Oh, rent went up again? That's terrible. Smile, sympathetic nod. Another unexpected bill? That must be so stressful. Concerned frown, but not too deep. I open my closet, pushing past the few nice pieces I've allowed myself. No, those won't do. I select faded jeans, a sweater with worn elbows. The illusion of struggle must be maintained a little longer. For dessert, I'll bring my chocolate cake, the one they always praise, but never quite appreciate I bake from scratch to save money. The irony doesn't escape me as I write down ingredients I'll need. You've been supporting them for years? Eleanor's fork freezes halfway to her mouth, her salad momentarily forgotten as we sit in the corner booth of the cafe across from my office. I've paid their rent since Mom claimed she couldn't work full-time after her back injury. The air quotes I make feel bitter, childish, but necessary. I've been living in that 1-bedroom apartment so they could have their 3-bedroom house. Eleanor's face shifts from shock to anger on my behalf. Daphne, that's exploitation. The word lands heavily between us. I've avoided naming it until now. My guest room is yours if you need space when this all comes out, she offers, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. Whatever you decide to do. I thank her, throat tight with unexpected emotion. Having someone firmly in my corner feels foreign, precious. Later that afternoon, Michael from accounting stops by my desk. He survived his own family betrayal 3 years ago, parents who remortgaged their house in his name. He recognizes the signs in me. Remember, setting boundaries isn't cruel, he says quietly. It's the most honest thing you can do for everyone involved. That night, I find myself staring at old family photos. Dad with his arm around me at my high school graduation, his proud smile. Madison is a toothless 7-year-old, clutching my hand on her first day of school. Caleb learning to ride a bike, my hands steadying him from behind. Were those moments real? Or was I always just a resource to them, even then? My phone rings. Mom again. You're bringing that chocolate cake everyone loves, right? Her voice is honey sweet, familiar in its manipulation. Of course, I say, feeling the old guilt rising, threatening to break my resolve. Family is family after all. Maybe I've misunderstood. Maybe. I hang up and play the recorded call again, their cruel laughter filling my quiet apartment. She's basically an ATM with a pulse. It's so easy to guilt her, she always folds. I close the photo album and straighten my shoulders. The doubt recedes, replaced by something cooler, more determined. Sunday dinner is 2 days away. It's time they learn that ATMs can be permanently out of service. The familiar brick colonial looms before me, its windows glowing amber against the twilight sky. I pull my sensible sedan to the curb, cut the engine, and sit motionless. This house, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, with the wraparound porch Dad always wanted, isn't mine, though my name appears on every mortgage payment for the past 5 years. Just breathe, I whisper, gripping the steering wheel. My rehearsed smile feels like a mask already, tight and unnatural. The front door swings open before I reach the porch steps. Madison bounces out, all honey blonde hair and practiced enthusiasm. Daff, you made it! Her arms encircle me, squeezed firmly enough to convince. I catalog the details I once missed. The fresh manicure with intricate designs that couldn't have cost less than $80. The subtle scent of a perfume I recognized from the Nordstrom beauty counter. Wouldn't miss it. My voice emerges steady, betraying none of the tremors I feel inside. Mom appears in the doorway, arms outstretched, her smile wide, but eyes calculating. There's my responsible girl. The word lands like a slap now. Responsible. Code for useful. Hi, Mom. I allow myself to be folded into her embrace, noting the cashmere softness of her sweater against my cheek. Medical bills don't typically come with designer labels. Caleb appears last, offering a half-hearted side hug that lasts precisely 2 seconds. Hey, sis. I followed them into the living room I rarely visit despite funding. The walls are decorated with family photos, Madison's graduation, Caleb's high school football days, Mom's 60th birthday cruise. I scan for evidence of my existence, but find nothing more recent than my college graduation. 10 years erased, except for my financial contributions. Is that a new television? I ask, gesturing toward the sleek 65-inch screen dominating the wall. Last month, Caleb had texted about being unable to afford his textbooks. Oh, that old thing? Mom waves dismissively. Black Friday deal. Practically gave it away. Black Friday was 4 months ago. The model came out 6 weeks ago. Madison sits beside me, her freshly manicured hands fidgeting in her lap. French tips with tiny crystals catching the light. The same hands that typed, barely making ends meet in last week's text message. How's work? She asks, not waiting for my response before continuing. I've been absolutely drowning in my thesis research. Professor Saunders is being completely unreasonable about deadlines. The same Professor Saunders she tagged in Instagram photos from a weekend music festival 2 weeks ago. Best professor ever? Works fine, I answer simply. Busy season. Mom brings in a tray of coffee and her famous lemon squares the ones she knows I love. The sugar-dusted treats are carefully arranged, a sweetener for what's coming. They always feed me before asking for money. So, Mom begins after precisely 2 sips of coffee, right on cue. Her voice drops to that familiar, urgent tone. We've had some unexpected news. I take a bite of lemon square, buying time. 5 years of these performances, and I never recognized the pattern. The dramatic pause, the concerned glances between them, the inevitable crisis that only my checkbook can solve. The landlord called yesterday. She shakes her head, eyes downcast. He's raising the rent. Again. $250 more starting next month. Madison's eyes widen on cue. We're already stretched so thin, Daff. I've picked up extra research assistant hours, but it's barely making a dent. Research assistant hours that haven't prevented her from posting poolside margarita photos every Thursday afternoon for the past month. I'm worried about falling behind in school, Caleb adds right on cue. If I have to pick up more delivery shifts, my GPA will tank. His recent Vegas poker tournament winnings apparently insufficient for rent, though adequate for the designer sneakers he's currently wearing. Their glances telegraphed between them, Mom's slight nod to Madison, Madison's eye flicked to Caleb. The synchronized dance of manipulation I now see with painful clarity. That's terrible, I say, my tone appropriately sympathetic. Didn't you just go to that spa resort last month, Mom? The one in the Berkshires? A moment of panic flashes across her face before she recovers. Oh, that was a special deal through my church group. Practically free. The $379 per night tea resort her friend accidentally tagged her at. The $120 hot stone massage she reviewed online. I turned to Madison. That's a beautiful purse. Nordstrom? Her fingers instinctively touched the buttery leather bag beside her. This? No, it's just a really good knockoff from that market downtown. The same bag I priced last week while researching her spending. $450, genuine leather. And Vegas looked fun, Caleb. Your Instagram had some great shots of the Bellagio. He shifts uncomfortably. Just crashed on a buddy's hotel room floor. Barely spent anything. Except the $800 his poker tournament entry cost, prominently displayed in his victory photo. Their momentary panic dissipates quickly, replaced by practiced excuses. The choreography is flawless. They've been performing this play for years. Mom clears her throat, steering the conversation back to the script. About the rent increase. She hesitates, the practice pause designed to build tension. We were wondering if you might be able to help with the extra $250, just until things stabilize. 3 faces turn to me, expectant. A pointed silence stretches between us. I let it linger longer than usual, watching doubt flicker across Mom's face. Of course I'll help. The words come out exactly as rehearsed. Family comes first, right? Their collective exhale is audible. Shoulders relax, smiles return. Mom reaches over to squeeze my hand, her grip firm with victory. You're an angel, Daphne. I don't know what we'd do without you. When they disappear into the kitchen to prepare dinner, I casually walk to the mail pile on the entryway table. The landlord's official notice sits in plain view, an increase of $50, not $250. I snap a quick photo with my phone. Bathroom? I call out, though I know exactly where it is. Down the hall, honey. Mom answers from the kitchen. Instead, I slip into her bedroom, quickly photographing the bank statement carelessly left on her nightstand. The spa charges are highlighted in yellow. Mom's way of tracking business expenses for tax write-offs she doesn't qualify for. Back in the dining room, I position my phone casually on the table. Voice memo recording as Mom returns with a roast that cost more than the groceries in my refrigerator. To family, Mom says, raising her glass. To family, we echo, and I smile, knowing this performance is almost over. Sometimes revenge doesn't require confrontation. Sometimes it's simply about gathering evidence until the truth becomes undeniably even to yourself. The clock on my laptop reads 11:59 p.m. Rent is due at midnight. My fingers hover over the keyboard. The payment form filled out to the last digit $1,450 that will drain my account yet again. The cursor blinks over the submit payment button, waiting for the click that's come automatically for 5 years. But tonight, something has changed. I think of the recording saved on my phone ATM with a pulse, and close the laptop with a soft click that sounds like freedom. I power off my phone completely and place it in my nightstand drawer, burying it beneath a novel I haven't had time to read. The silence in my apartment feels strange, almost uncomfortable. For the first time in years, I am unreachable to them. Madison's first text arrives at 6:22 a.m. Hey, rent's due today. By noon, Mother's message appears. Landlord called about the payment. Everything okay? By 3 o'clock, Caleb joins the chorus. Mom's really stressed about the rent. Call her as soon as possible. The evening brings escalation. Where's the money, Daphne? We're counting on you. And finally, as midnight approaches again, if you don't pay, we'll be evicted. How could you do this to us? I watch the messages accumulate on my reactivated phone, each one stripping away another layer of their performance. The pretense of care dropping away with each passing hour, revealing the naked desperation beneath. I'd like to change all my account passwords and set up additional security measures, I tell the bank representative. Her name tag reads Janice, and her eyes widen slightly at my comprehensive list of requests. 2 hours later, I walk out with new cards, new pins, new online credentials, and the unsettling knowledge that Madison had attempted to access my savings account last Christmas, something the bank had flagged but never reported to me. That afternoon, I methodically work through my list. I remove my credit card from our shared Netflix and Hulu accounts. I call the electric company to confirm I'm not listed on my mother's utilities, despite having paid them for years. I delete payment methods from Amazon and change the password. By evening, I've created a new email address and ordered a new phone number, a clean slate. Each step feels like dismantling a piece of the cage I've lived in. Is this really necessary? Eleanor asks when I explain my actions over coffee. I show her the spreadsheet of emergencies that aligned perfectly with my bonuses. They've taken almost $90,000 from me. I say, the number's still shocking even to me. What happens when they realize? She asks. They already have, I say, showing her my phone screen with 37 missed calls. On the third day, I answer Madison's call. Where have you been? Her voice explodes through the speaker, raw panic stripping away her usual calculated sweetness. We need the money now. I sit at my small dining table. Spreadsheets of their financial lies spread before me like a roadmap of exploitation. I've been thinking a lot about our family dynamic, I say, my voice steady in a way that surprises even me. We don't have time for this. Madison's voice rises, edging toward hysteria. The landlord is threatening eviction. I'm making some changes in how I support the family. The words come out firm, a boundary made of sound. There's a shuffling, and then my mother's voice cuts in, sharp as a blade. Daphne, what's the meaning of this? I recognize the tone, the one that made me fold countless times, the voice of authority that now sounds hollow. In the background, Caleb pleads, then curses. I know the rent is actually $1,200, not $1,450. Silence, complete and revealing. I don't understand what you're talking about, my mother finally says, but her voice has lost its edge. I think you do. I traced the number on my spreadsheet, $250 extra each month for 3 years, $9,000 in fabricated rent. I've been looking into a lot of things lately. You're confused. She attempts, but uncertainty makes her voice waver. No, Mom. For the first time in years, I see everything very clearly. Listen to me, young lady, she begins, but the authority in her voice rings false now. I'll be over tomorrow at 6, I interrupt. We can discuss new arrangements then. You can't just... Madison tries to cut in. I can, and I am. I hang up before they can respond. I sit with this strange, bittersweet feeling of having done something both terrible and necessary. The weight on my shoulders hasn't disappeared, it's transformed into something I can finally carry without breaking. My phone lights up again immediately. I silence it and look at the framed photo of my father on my desk. I'm still taking care of the family, Dad, I whisper, just not the way they wanted me to. For the first time in years, I think he might actually be proud. I park my car a block away from the house, technically, or at least the one I've been paying for. My reflection in the rearview mirror shows someone I barely recognize. Back straight, chin up, eyes clear. No hint of the woman who spent years hunched over spreadsheets, calculating how to help a family that saw me as nothing more than an ATM with a pulse. The manila folder on the passenger seat contains every piece of evidence I've collected. Bank statements, social media screenshots, text messages they never thought I'd see, a calculator showing the grand total, $87,452. My life reduced to a number they took for granted. "You've got this," I whisper to myself, the words hanging in the still air of my car. The walk to their front door feels like crossing a threshold between my old life and whatever comes next. Through the window, I can see them pacing. Linda's hair is uncombed, Madison's mascara smudged, and Caleb's expression hovers somewhere between fury and fear. I don't knock. My key still works, though after today, I won't need it anymore. Their heads snap toward me when I enter. The eviction notice sits prominently on the coffee table, the bold red lettering visible from where I stand. The house smells of desperation and burnt coffee. "How could you do this to your own mother?" Linda launches immediately, her voice cracking with practiced vulnerability. She's wearing the cashmere sweater I bought her last Christmas while she claimed to need money for winter utilities. Madison's eyes well, with tears on cue. "Daphne, please, we'll be homeless." Caleb stands against the wall, arms crossed, hostile. "Real nice, sis, real family-oriented of you." I place my purse carefully on the entryway table and step into the living room. My footsteps sound different somehow, deliberate. The sound of someone who knows exactly where they're going. "I'd like to play something for you," I say, my voice steadier than it's been in 5 years. Before they can protest, I place my phone on the coffee table and press play. The sound of clinking glasses and laughter fills the room. Then, Madison's voice clears a bell. "Can you believe Daphne still thinks she's helping us?" The blood drains from their faces as they hear their own words. Linda's laugh, brittle and cruel. "She's basically an ATM with a pulse." Caleb's slurred mockery. "She owes us for not having kids or a husband." Madison again, calculating. "Let's tell her rent went up by $250. Linda's greedy addition. "Get her to cover utilities and my spa days too." The final knife twist, Madison's casual cruelty. "It's so easy to guilt her, she always folds." Linda lurches forward. "Turn that off." I raise my hand, and she freezes. It's the first time in my adult life I've silenced her with a gesture. "No," I say simply. "You're going to listen. All of you." I pull out the bank statements next, laying them methodically on the table. The rent on this house is $1,200 per month. For 5 years, I've been paying you $1,450, believing I was helping with utilities. I tap the paper. "Where did that extra $12,000 go, Mom?" Linda's mouth opens and closes. "And these," I continue, spreading out social media screenshots. Madison's Cabo trip during her financial emergency last spring. Caleb's new gaming system when he was struggling with textbook costs. Mom's spa weekend when she had medical bills. "You were spying on us?" Caleb sputters. "No, I was finally paying attention." I pull out my calculator next, displaying the total. Their eyes widen as they see the number. $87,452. That's what I've given you over 5 years, not loan given. While I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with aging appliances and postponed dental work. While I took a second job bartending weekends. Madison tries to interrupt, but I continue, my voice gaining strength. "I'm done being your ATM. As of today, there will be no more financial support of any kind." The panic in their eyes is immediate and visceral. "You can't do this," Linda says, her tone shifting from accusation to bargaining. "We're family." "The eviction notice gives you 2 weeks, I say, unmoved. I suggest you start packing." "We'll pay you back," Madison offers desperately. "We just need a little more time." "This isn't about the money," I say. "It's about the lies, the manipulation, the mockery." Caleb steps forward, his stance threatening. "So that's it? You're just cutting us off?" "Yes," I reply. the simplicity of the word almost beautiful. I reach into my pocket and pull out my house key, placing it on the table with a soft click. Family isn't measured by what you can take, I say, looking at each of them in turn, but by what you freely give. Linda scoffs, but there's fear behind her eyes. You'll regret this, Daphne. You'll be all alone. For the first time in 5 years, I smile with genuine relief. I already was. I turn and walk toward the door, my steps lighter with each foot forward. Behind me, their voices rise in protest, bargaining, threats. I take out my phone and, with 3 quick taps, delete their contact information as I cross the threshold. The spring sunlight hits my face as I close the door on that chapter of my life. The weight I've carried for years lifts from my shoulders, and I take my first deep breath as someone who finally understands that saying no can be the most powerful form of self-respect. Sunlight streams through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting golden patterns across my hardwood floors. I trace my fingers along the rim of a delicate porcelain teacup part of the set Grandma left me that spent years carefully wrapped in storage. Too precious to use, I told myself. But today, like every day this past year, I choose differently. Are you sure I can't help with anything? Eleanor calls from the living room where she's arranging a bouquet of fresh tulips bright yellow, like the throw pillows I splurged on last month. Just relax, I answer, sliding a tray of appetizers from the oven. You've done enough. My apartment echoes with laughter as Michael arrives, wine bottle in hand, regaling everyone with his latest courtroom victory. His baritone fills spaces that once held only silence and spreadsheets. A year ago, my dining table groaned under the weight of financial calculations and family obligations. Now it boasts a spread for friends who expect nothing beyond my company. When the doorbell chimes, I welcome Lydia, my mentor from Eastern Investment Partners who saw potential in me once I had space to grow. After her comes Marcus from the community center where I volunteer Tuesday evenings, my helping nature channeled productively, not parasitically. To Daphne, Eleanor raises her glass, eyes crinkling with genuine pride. 1 year of freedom. On my refrigerator, beneath travel magnets from Tuscany and the Maine coast strips, no longer perpetually postponed, sits a sealed envelope. Linda's handwriting, unmistakable after all these years. It arrived 3 weeks ago, still unopened. The anxiety it once would have triggered has mellowed to mild curiosity. My phone occasionally displays Madison's blocked email subject lines, promising accountability, but body text undoubtedly lacking it. Last week, Caleb sent a message through a mutual friend about missing his sister. These attempts slide off me like rain on a newly sealed roof. You'll know when you're ready, my therapist said during yesterday's session. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. You get to decide what passes through and when. After dinner, as conversations break into smaller groups, Samantha, a junior analyst, pulls me aside. I started that spreadsheet you suggested, she whispers, a familiar weight in her voice. I'm supporting my brother through his 3rd career change while paying Mom's credit card bills. I recognize the shadows under her eyes, the same ones that haunted my mirror for 5 years. Your spreadsheet has 2 columns. I tell her, not as a broken woman bitter at the world, but as someone who's climbed the mountain and can guide others. What you give and what it costs you. But there should be a 3rd column, what you save for yourself. Her eyes widen, as if I've suggested something revolutionary. Later, as my guests gather their coats, my phone lights up with notification of the promotion I've been working toward. Senior Vice President of Portfolio Management. The celebration erupts immediately, genuine joy unmixed with calculation or envy. These people want nothing from me but happiness. On my balcony, after everyone leaves, I watch the sunset paint the Boston skyline in amber and purple. My emergency fund is robust, retirement accounts recovering, and next month I'll make my first contribution to a scholarship for students who lost parents young. I open my journal, fingers tracing the leather cover worn smooth by nightly reflections. Today marks 1 year of freedom. I choose to help, not to be used. The horizon spreads before me like an unwritten story. Somewhere across the city, my blood relatives continue without my subsidies. But here, In this space I've learned a powerful truth. Sometimes the family you need isn't the family you were born into.